Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to the big screen and to the 75,000 subscriber Q&A. It's been a long time since we've done one of these. Always a good time getting a little bit more personal with you guys rather than talking about Call of Duty all the time. Thanks for all the questions, so many of them. It's going to be impossible to get through all of them. We shall do our best. Before we begin, I just wanted to say I'm updating the way the memberships work here on the channel. A lot of you guys will have noticed, people in the comment section below of these videos, will look at a few of them actually in this video themselves, who have a very sexy little badge next to their name, a little TR logo that updates the colors over time depending on how long they've been a member for. So the way I'm going to do the memberships now, there's two tiers. I think I'm still going to call them Temp and Simp because that's what we did initially, and it's kind of just channel lore at this point, right? But the first tier, that's going to give you the membership badges. It's going to give you the emojis as well. There's a few of those that are pretty cool, which are not all that many people use. I sometimes use them in the top comments. I do need to add some more of those though. And then the second tier gives you access to an exclusive Discord in my Discord channel, and also early access to all the videos. So I put all the videos in this early access channel. I'll also talk about the other projects I'm working on, what's going on behind the scenes, like plans I've got in the works for other channels, and also other things coming very soon indeed. So there's absolutely no obligation to support me in this way at all. Everything on these channels will still remain free forever, but if you would like to go above and beyond, then those two membership tiers hopefully will give you guys more value. So let's crack right on with things. So many great questions. As I say, I won't be able to get to every single one, but I'll try and do my best to cover the general sentiment here in these questions. So firstly, as Yadi asks, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is your family supportive of your journey? I feel like my parents are starting to finally see where esports can go. I've been very lucky, I think, in my life to have very supportive parents. I think my mother would probably have preferred if I went to Oxford University and if I got in there than going to Bath. But outside of that in general, I think that my dad is kind of a bit indifferent. I think that he was kind of pushed in a particular direction by his father, and he didn't really want to go that way, right, and did his own thing. So I never think he's been particularly keen to say what I should do. And I mean, look, I think in general, just because I started doing this during university, and then by the time I finished university, I was able to kind of do this full time. Like I think once the parents see the paychecks, then I mean, they seem to be pretty happy with what you're doing right to the end of the day. But I certainly do feel lucky because even when I was younger, like I used to have other channels when I was a kid. Like I had a magic card trick channel type thing. Like I did this channel even way back in the day. Like we would sometimes be going on holidays and stuff, and I'd be sitting there like making these videos that would get like 100 views or something. Like just gameplay breakdowns. I used to do like gameplay analysis videos. You guys can find them all if you go back to the oldest videos on this channel. Honestly, they're good to watch, to be honest, but it's a different world from what we do today on there. And it's just some of those things, like you make channels like that and you just have to kind of learn what works and what doesn't. And they were very supportive. Like even when I was doing that, they're like, it wasn't necessarily just a waste of my time. Like it kind of was a waste of my time in a way, but like as time has progressed, then you actually learn things from those experiences, right? And just like the passion for it carries over. So it's good that they were kind of supportive then, even when the channel wasn't doing anything, right? And it was just a pure hobby, and that's kind of helped me get to where we are today. A triple barrel one here from Billy Jones. Where were you born? So I was born in Colchester, Essex in the United Kingdom, small little town and about an hour or so north of London. I now live in Bath, at least for now, because that's where I was at university. Decided to stay here for another year afterwards, got a good deal on the place. Not sure where I'll be living in about 4 or 5 months time when the tenancy expires. Could go anywhere. That's the nice thing about what I do. I'm not like tied down to a location. Now we'll talk about moving to the States in a few minutes time here, because that is something I actually considered, and I'm not sure I want to go down that route anymore for reasons I'll discuss. But before we get into that, what got you into COD? Could you tell us the full story? So for me, it was when a friend I had at school when I was about, I think, 10 or 11, he said, you have to get Black Ops 1. This is like the hot game right now. So I managed to somehow convince my parents to get me Black Ops 1 when I was 11, and I just played that. I only discovered multiplayer after like a year or two. I didn't even know it existed. And then what really got me into competitive COD, I remember watching Black Ops 2 Champs, but I really remember getting into competitive COD around about Black Ops 3 in kind of the stage 1, the online matches, effectively. I'd get home from college, and that just being like kind of 6th form in the UK, or like when you're between 16, 17, that type of age. And I would get home and I'd watch Momo and Machine do the European kind of CWL online, well, stage 1, I guess, whatever it was, just online matches. And they would be on pretty much every single day, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Used to watch all of those, and I really got into it that year. Like that was especially when I got into it, and then kind of over time I've gone back and learned about all the history of the previous games. Kind of those couple of years I missed, right, in maybe part of Ghost. I watched a bit of Ghost actually, and then Advanced Warfare I didn't really watch all that much of, so I kind of caught up on that. And then I had this channel during the Black Ops 2 days where I was making like gameplay breakdowns and analysis and stuff, like trying to help people improve at playing team deathmatch and stuff like this, and Search and Destroy as well was kind of one of the main ones. But and then really I saw Thorin, who was doing this for Counter-Strike. I used to watch a load of Thorin's content content in the Counter-Strike world. And I think he made one video just saying that, look, how hard can it be to talk about, talk about what's going on for 10 minutes in front of a camera? So I thought, you know what, I might as well do it. I'll talk about the Black Ops 4 beta when that came out in front of a camera, and I posted them on Reddit, and I did a few follow-up videos, and eventually it kind of came into actually what makes more sense. It's just to talk about the news that happens, and then over time it progressed into doing 2 videos a day, and now we're expanding elsewhere. Alright guys, TacticalRab here, back again with another video, quicker than I expected to be. Today, Priestahh put out a tweet last night talking about his ideas for the future of Call of Duty, what direction it should take to increase viewership. So it's worth discussing. I think a lot of pros disagree with Priestahh on this, as do I. Passions outside of Call of Duty and YouTube, I think there's 2 main ones. Firstly is swimming. I love swimming. I used to be a competitive swimmer when I was younger. Like, I have a really good time in the pool. Like, just great way to keep fit as well. Like, the best cardio you can ever do is swimming. Full body, can't get injured, just fantastic. And the other thing that I kind of have been into for a while, like probably for several years at this point, is chess. I really enjoy playing like chess casually online and stuff like this. I watch the tournaments and stuff. Like, there's this channel called Agadmator on YouTube, or Matter, I think that's how you would pronounce it, and he goes through and analyzes chess games, like the current ones or the classics from previous times, and I just really enjoy those videos. It's a fascinating game, and I just kind of like playing it casually, and maybe one day I'll be as good as Illy, who knows. I like this one from Strike. Favorite movie, game, or album of all time? So favorite movie, I think I have kind of 2. There's probably more that I should really be thinking of, but one of them is The Big Short, no doubt about it. If you guys haven't seen The Big Short, that is gotta be one of the funniest movies I've ever seen, but also so much behind it. Like, every time I watch the movie, like, there's more to it, and just such an entertaining film to watch, and also kind of a horror story of reality as it is. And then the other one I think would be The Departed, my favorite Scorsese film, and what an absolute banger. If you guys haven't seen that, you got to get on it. Game, I'd have to say Black Ops 3. I mean, honestly, Black Ops 2 I loved, but Black Ops 3 for me was the game by far the most fun on. I put so much time into Black Ops 3, you wouldn't even believe. Like, I don't want to know what my stats are on that game, because like, I'm not just regular public matches and stuff where I got to Prestige Master within about a month and a half, got Dark Matter like so quickly, it was ridiculous, and got 100% completion as well. Like, I played so many pubs in that game, it was absurd, and played so many game battles and had like a kind of team of my own. We weren't particularly good, but we scrimmed people and had a good time that summer of, I guess it was 2016 or whatever. And then album of all time, I'd have to say probably Transmissions by Starset. Very obscure album, I know, but if you guys have ever watched some of Sprat's videos back in the day, like when he was doing Example 4, Example 5, I used to watch like all of Sprat's sniping montages, and he partnered up with this band called Starset, kind of a new upcoming band in kind of alternative electronic rock, and he used some of their songs in his montages, and that Transmission album is just a banger from start to finish. They've had a few more albums since then. There's Vessels, Divisions, and Horizons, but I think the original from 2014, Transmissions by Starset, that's it's an absolute banger. Great question here from Blaine. Does the negative reaction to your videos from the pros you talk about ever bother you, or does it simply fuel you while giving you more exposure? So yeah, look, I never expected the pros to like my videos. Like, in general, just the way things work is that, look, I make 60 videos a month. From time to time, there's going to be a video that, maybe crosses the line in one way or another, and a particular pro that is talking about, they're always going to remember that video as opposed to remembering all the other, 6 or 7 videos I might have made talking about them that month, where I talked about them in a positive light, right? That's just how it works. That's just how people are. And look, at the same time, I don't think the reaction from the pros is overwhelmingly negative. Like, of course, there's certain ones that don't seem to get along particularly well with what I do, which, I understand, I get that. Like, which professional athlete actually likes the media, right, in general? It's pretty rare, I guess, in professional sports. I don't really blame them. But at the same time, there's some pros I've talked to that have actually said, like, they watch pretty much all my videos. They enjoy them, right? They think it's good for the scene. I think maybe the more savvy pros kind of understand and get that it's I think what I do is a positive thing for the scene. I think, hopefully most people agree on that front. I think the pros, maybe, some of them see that as well, right? That it's kind of like, if there wasn't someone like me doing this, then it probably shows it's difficult for new fans to get into the scene, and also that there isn't enough interest to generate a channel like this actually being profitable, right? So that's kind of my perspective there. And look, at the end of the day, if they're going to talk about me on stream and stuff, like, it's going to give the channel a bit more exposure, right? So we're going to get to that point where everyone in the Call of Duty world kind of knows about the channel, which, can't be a bad thing. Zach asks, what current CDL pro hero do you think could potentially be the next Scump, if that is even possible? To me, I don't think there's ever going to be a world again in which, Call of Duty kind of, regular multiplayer is blowing up as it did back in the Black Ops 2 days when Scump and Nature are absolutely killing it with the content. Those videos did insanely well. Like, it's just not really a thing that happens anymore on YouTube. Just regular multiplayer gameplay doesn't do that. Like, and therefore, no one's going to be able to be the next Scump. It's just not going to happen. If there's anyone it's possible for, it's got to be Shotzzy, I think, right? Like, even people talk about Envoy, right? But, like, Shotzzy is an incredibly entertaining personality. He's on Optic. He's playing with Scump. I feel like he's the guy, if he stays in Call of Duty, that in a few years' time, he's going to be the face of the scene. Caleb asks, how did you make your connections in the competitive COD scene? Lionman, EasyMac, etc. Seems like it'd be quite hard to break into as a non-competitive player. Keep up the great work. So thank you for the kind words. But, I mean, look, I think the way that it happened for me is just putting, like, a lot of people, right, they come to me with ideas, or they talk about ideas, they have, like, a million ideas, but, actually, have they actually produced anything of value, right? Like, this is the question. And, I think, to me, this is kind of the key thing, is that, yes, people have ideas and stuff, but I was just putting out videos into the world and just trying to project some positive energy, right, I guess, into the world, and just putting stuff out there. And eventually that comes back in your favor, right? Like, it didn't take long. I didn't know anyone in the scene. Like, I had no clue about competitive play, really. And I just started talking about it. And as time progressed, like, following things on Twitter, like maybe I'd follow EasyMac and he might have stumbled across a video or two of mine and he followed me back. And then he's talking about some stats. I talk about them in a video, and just, things go back and forth. And that's the thing. I think generally when you just put things out there and actually just create something, then opportunities start to arise, right? People start DMing me about stuff. Even when I got to about 10,000 subscribers, the CWL, as it was MLG, then asked me to fly out to Anaheim and cast the open bracket for that event. Didn't quite work out like that, but I feel like these things kind of happen naturally when you're consistent and when you're just creating value. Now, as Mike asks, let's talk about this kind of US thing. Would you consider a move to the States if the CDL signed you in some way? There's two elements to this, right? There's the whole CDL part and there's the US part. Now, I mean, look, if the CDL were to reach out to me and say, maybe we can make something work, of course, like, I'm not going to completely turn them away at the first sight. But one thing I really love about this channel is I have the autonomy to talk about what I want, right? If there's some controversy with a particular team, organization, whatever, with the CDL themselves, I can talk about it without fear of repercussions, right? If I was part of the CDL, I'm sure there'd be something in the contract writers to say, like, okay, well, you can't criticize them in certain ways, which would limit what I was able to do and the authenticity I'm able to provide. So, look, I would have to make sure that was done very carefully if that was ever a possibility. And, I mean, look, living in the States, I actually considered this recently. I was like, look, could I just move to Texas or something? That's where everything's happening in Call of Duty. But what I realize is when I make my videos in the morning, like, and when the kind of news happens in general, I would have to get up in order to do this consistently and to make sure the videos get out at the right time. I'd have to get up at like stupid o'clock in the morning, which, it just feels like to me that with all the other complications that happen with living in the States, actually getting there in the first place, getting the visa, foreign country, don't really know anyone, the whole healthcare discussion, like all these other complications that happen with a move like that, in addition to the fact that I'm not really sure my schedule and what I do right now works great on that time zone. Like, it would be great in the evening matches, right? Because after the games finish in the evening, I could make the recap at like 7, 8 p.m. as opposed to like 1, 2 a.m. my time. But still, I think in general, it might not be ideal. But look, if an opportunity comes along from an organization or something along those lines that actually, well, requires moving, then, well, we'll consider it again. This question from Tidal that I think about an awful lot of the time. If the CDL has a major downfall and viewership tanks, not only for them, but for me as well, what other content or career would you be interested in? Seems like Halo seems obvious, but, I thought I'd ask about it. This is, a very interesting question, especially this past off-season. I was thinking about this a lot, right? Because everyone was talking about, okay, Call of Duty, it's on the downhill. And in fairness, I think this channel has got to the point where pretty much it's going to reach everyone. It's going to reach this interested in competitive Call of Duty. And that the only way this channel grows in viewership over time is if the CDL grows in viewership, which I try and help that right as much as I can here on the channel. But, there's only so much we can do. Now, obviously, I'm part of Breaking Point. I think that project can be something, well, bigger than Call of Duty in itself. We're kind of, well, considering moves to other esports as well already there. And that's what I've been considering myself. I started a Valorant channel a few months ago, I think end of September. That's almost at 10,000 subscribers, I believe, as of today. Doing the same thing in the Valorant side. And honestly, I think that Valorant channel is nowhere near its potential. Like if Call of Duty videos can get 20,000 views a video, Valorant videos should be able to get 100k a video at some point or another. So that's kind of my goal. Every channel I start, I want to be able to be bigger than the previous one. That's why I haven't done the Halo one as of yet, because if I do a Halo one, first of all, I've realized I'm not actually interested enough in the players to care that much to actually be super invested like I am in Call of Duty and starting to get in Valorant to actually make content of a very high level. I want to make sure the content's good. Now, like, if CDL completely disappears, then maybe, I'll consider Halo, right? Because maybe all the personalities go to Halo, at which point I should follow them over. That's kind of how it works, I think, for this channel, is that I'm kind of following the CDL, but I'm also following the personalities around Call of Duty in general and the CDL in general, which is why Formal can retire, but yet we can still talk about him a fair bit. The next channel I want to start, as I say, every channel I want to start, I want to be bigger than the last one I started, or at least have the potential to be bigger. The plan for me is next, I want to start this channel in the coming weeks, because the Bahrain Grand Prix is not far around the corner. I want to start a Formula 1 channel. It's optimistic. There's a lot of people, obviously, because Formula 1 is absolutely immense, that cover Formula 1 news already. But I don't know, I think the flavor we have going on here and in Valorant has worked very quickly in Valorant, kind of quicker than I expected, right, for a scene that I had no clue about a few months ago, and I've done pretty well over there already. And Formula 1 has been a sport that I've followed, well, since I was like a kid, really, back in 2008. Kind of fell out of it the last several years, but it's very exciting. I follow it very closely at the moment, so I think that's going to be the next step for me. And then at least I'll be diversified to the point where if the CDL does kind of tank, we can take this channel in whatever direction it naturally trends in, but also I've got some other options. As I missed a Head to Darkset, a fantastic member, I'm pretty sure that badge is like the year plus badge, so appreciate you being around for this long. Pineapple on pizza, and also if you get on your own COD team. If I could own my own COD team, like the TacticalRab Academy, you guys know that's on the Twitter account and stuff. I don't know, it'd have to be something like TacticalRab Academy. I don't know if Academy necessarily works, just because it feels like it's not really a pro team, but still, I don't know, TacticalRab Academy, that doesn't miss, to be honest. Pineapple on pizza, like, it's not my favorite topping in the world. I do say yes to pineapple on pizza if I have to, like, I'd give it a thumbs up. I'm not like super swayed either way. I wouldn't like go in for a pineapple on pizza nowadays deliberately, but look, if I have to have a Hawaiian with something else on it, I'm not going to turn it down. As Myrtle Y2K asks, what does a normal day look like for you? With 3 uploads on 2 channels every day, how do you stay productive? This, a great question, right? I think that the way I stay productive is just by being incredibly consistent with the schedule. I love a routine. Like, I get up at pretty much the same time every day. I get up around about 8, maybe 7:45 or so. Can be a little bit fluid there, but wake up, get a shower. Straight away, I just start preparing the content for the videos. Some of it I've done the night before, right? I basically just go through everything that I've seen over the last day or so on Twitter, on Reddit, on YouTube, and other forums like this. I have a massive OneNote file as well of like every time I watch a YouTube video, of a documentary or something, a podcast, like I'll just make notes of where something is said that might be worth talking about. I'll go through all of that. I'll construct like the 2 or 3 videos I have in terms of like tabs that are on Google Chrome, and then I'll just make the videos in the morning. So I'll record all the content unless it's a match day in which I need to review the videos or review the matches later in that day, which then I'll make that video in the evening. But outside of that, I'll just do everything in the morning. I'll do all the editing, all the thumbnailing right then and there in the morning, and I'll try and get all of that done by midday, by 12. Like that's kind of the goal. I set myself a deadline to get all that done by 12, and then what do you know, it usually happens, right? That's the thing. I think it's called fixed schedule productivity. I probably talked about this in the last Q&A, but it's still working for me, and I'm even doing another video now. I used to just do 2, now I do 3, and I still made it work in the same pretty much time frame by just getting up a bit earlier. Then I have breakfast at 12, so I don't eat at all in the morning. I just drink water, stay hydrated. I don't know, I feel like I'm more productive when I haven't eaten. As soon as I eat, my productivity goes down. So then at about 1 or so, I'll go to the gym for about an hour and a half or so, come back, and then, things in the afternoon, general admin stuff. My brain doesn't work that well in the afternoon, to be fair. So between like 3 and 4, I don't really do that much. Maybe relax a bit, like look through the to-do list, do a few things, maybe like write a script for a video for Breaking Point, or just do some podcast topics if we're doing the Breaking Point podcast that day. And then I think the plan is probably for me now is that between 5 or 6, I'll probably try and make the F1 video then, because often the news that happens comes out at like not exactly the same time that it does for Call of Duty and Valorant that are maybe more North American focused. Dinner at about 6:30 or so, and then usually I could just relax in the evening. If there's Call of Duty on, I've still got to worry about making the video, but I generally can get everything done in the morning. We get into the real questions here from 1-hour videos. How many 5-year-olds do you think you could take in a fight? This is interesting, as 5-year-olds are quite, they're quite significant, right? Like, it's not like a toddler, right? Like, a 5-year-old can probably put up a fair bit of a fight. I feel like people would say, like, more 5-year-olds, it depends, like, could I take in a fight? Are they gonna, like, take me down? Like, what are we talking about? Am I getting tapped out by these 5-year-olds? Like, I don't know, like, 5-year-olds is probably quite a handle to deal with, right? Because you got to keep them off you. Then again, like, you could probably knock them out pretty quickly. So, you like, as soon as you get the first kick in, like, you're probably looking... I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I think it maybe like 6 comfortably, and then, you know, we see what we go from there. Victor asking the real questions right here. Rab, have you got a girl? No, right now I'm single, taking applications, but yeah, the last couple of years have been interesting for me, really, when the pandemic happened, right, and, you know, the last couple of years of university, really, in general, that it's kind of been interesting because, like, I guess when I was younger, in 6th form in college, like, I was super, like, I really want to get a girlfriend, all this type of stuff. Like, I think a lot of people feel like this, but the last couple of years, when I've been building this channel and kind of like what I've been planning to do and all the other things that have been going on, mainly just the channel, but also now building other channels and stuff, like, that's just occupied, like, so much of my time and thought process that I haven't even thought about, you know, having a relationship like that. So, you know, I think now, probably at this point, like, leaving university, I'm nearly 23, and, you know, I've kind of built something for myself to some degree. It's probably time to, you know, consider actually dating and stuff like this. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like as a younger man, you often don't really have much to offer and you have no idea what's going on anyway. And it's not like I've really even given much thought to this kind of work on yourself type thing. I've just kind of followed what I've been passionate about, and it's almost filled that need in my life to have that relationship. But I think at this point, it's probably about time. But yeah. And just to finish off with this one from Crash It, what toothpaste do you use? Lots of people seem to say that, like, my teeth just look so white in the videos, which, like, I don't really know is actually the case in real life. There's obviously that meme about, like, British people's teeth are, like, kind of yellow and stuff. Like, I don't know, my teeth are kind of white. Like, it's not, I don't use any particular toothpaste, just to answer that question. I just use whatever is the cheapest one. Like, I don't know, the Crest, I think, is the current one I've got, but I don't even know if that's available in the US, to be honest, so I'm not really sure. But generally, the lighting is just so key. It really frustrates me when I see people, like, either pros or just either content creators or even just in a Zoom call with people, when they don't have good lighting, they don't understand the concept of light, camera, then, like, face or whatever. You have the light behind the camera, like, it just looks so much better, and like, the lighting will just make things look way better than they would do otherwise. So you know, that honestly is the key, is good lighting if you want your teeth to look better. So, well, that's what I take to finish out the video. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any thoughts on this, leave them in the comment section below. We'll do another one of these when we get to 100k. If you haven't yet subscribed and you've made it to the end, you've got to hit that sub button right about now to help us get to that point. But yes, thank you for watching as always. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.